Hello everyone, this is Neat. I'm going to be bringing you some more League of Legends gameplay. Today I'm going to be playing Amumu. Got my shiny little portrait here, got the shiny little border. So today what we're going to do is delve a bit into team comp positions. Team comp. So we'll talk a bit about, we had talked about warding the last couple of videos and the importance of vision. Today we're going to try to focus on the very basics of team comps, because those have a very big part to play in winning and losing games. Talk about what the basic champion types are, how to fit them together, how to maximize their utility, maximize their damage, all that stuff. So I'll start with Amumu. So Amumu is a tank. That means basically he does his best to soak up as much damage as he possibly can. He's also adorable. So I'm also going to be jungling, which I haven't done in this series yet. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but mostly I'm going to be talking about team comp. So I'm a tank. My goal is to get as many tanky items as I can, build a lot of health, and basically survive. My goal is to take as much damage as I possibly can. I don't want to die, but well, these guys are polite. How about that? I don't want to die. However, I am fine with dying if that means my team survives. So, for instance, if I soak up all the enemy team's damage and we win, I am totally fine with that. If I am soaking up all the enemy damage and we still don't win, then there's adjustments need to be made. So I'm a tank. Yorick is a bit of an off tank. He will be tank E. Yeah, so I'm tanky. I'm a tank, full tank. My job is to soak damage. Yorick his essential role is to do damage. So he's not quite the same thing. Thresh gets a little bit tanky. So we talked about supports a couple times. So they have Morgana, we have Thresh. So the very default, that's a nice leash, team composition is you would have one or two tanks, one or two damage dealers, and a support. So right now we have one tank, off tank, and 3 damage dealers. So again, there's no kind of one best strategy. There's no one worst strategy. But the idea is you want to build a team comp that works well together. So you don't want no damage. You don't want a team with no collective health. You want to be able to, most of the time, to balance things out. So tanks are a kind of nice way to soak up a lot of damage for your team. Whoop, that's not good. To provide utility. Nice. What that means is utility basically means helps your team to do something. So that could be, a tank that goes in and does crowd control, which is kind of the default. There are tanks that seek to initiate. What that means is you want to basically kind of catch the enemy team in a spot that they don't want to be in and do nasty things to them. And some tanks just want to soak. For instance, Mundo. Mundo can't really crowd control the enemy team besides the slow. He's going to soak up an incredible amount of damage, but he's not going to affect the enemy team's mobility a whole lot. Mumu is a decent middle ground. His ult is really nice crowd control. It's AoE as big as this whole circle around me. And it basically stops the enemy team from moving, stops them from attacking for 2 full seconds, which is huge. That can really turn a fight. if you can, let's see if I can gank mid here. If you can get into the middle of an enemy team, catch 2, 3, 4, even 5 people, stop them from moving, stop them from attacking for 2 seconds, that can decide a game, that can decide a fight. So that's super important. Whoop, Kazakhs makes me sad. So I did not see him there. That's a bit unfortunate. So, jungling, I'm not going to go a whole lot into jungling because I want to focus on the team compositions. So for that encounter, what I'm going to focus on is the different types of champions. So it's still very early, so most champions are relying on their kind of base damages. They haven't built a whole lot of items. They haven't changed their basic stats very much. So again, my job is mainly to go in and soak up damage. I don't do a whole lot of damage. If I build AP, you can get some pretty hilarious ganks off. But I'll kind of contrast that with Kazakhs. Kazakhs is very generally low health. He's not looking to take a lot of damage. He's looking to strictly build to deal damage. He wants to inflict as much damage as he can in a short amount of time and then get out before taking a whole lot. So in a situation like that, when I didn't know he was there, he was able to kind of set up and prepare and do his thing, then he's going to have the damage advantage. So in a straight kind of brawl, just me and him slugging it out, he's going to have an advantage. Now the idea is that I can play to my strengths, he'll play to his, and together we'll, I don't think we can do anything here. Okay. Oh, nice. So I got his flash. But Lee had to flash as well. So that's unfortunate. That's also unfortunate. So again, my role as a tank is to soak up damage. I do that by building health. Magic resistance is... Let's see if I can try to come here. But I doubt it. Yeah, I can't risk that. Kazakhs is going to build damage. It's not going to have a lot of health. I'm going to build health. I'm not going to have a lot of damage. You can try to blend those, and those are become what are known as bruisers, such as Yorick. He's going to build health and damage. So he's going to try to get the best of both worlds. Someone like Kennen can focus on damage, not going to be all damage. See if I can help, I doubt it. I don't know if I can actually kill him. Nope, definitely cannot. I'm going to get out of there. Nice. Nice, nice. So, that was a bit unfortunate. Trying to pursue the cannon. Was slugging out with him. Kazakh showed up. So I had to kind of turn and fight. And I was able to use my ultimate, that last kind of flourish, to keep Kennen just in tower range. He can't move away, so the tower's going to keep hitting him. And he cannot attack for that period of time. So I was able to lock him under tower just long enough for him to take enough damage from the turret and kill him. So that was unfortunate. I now have 2 kills somehow. So there is that. Problem is Kennen's got 2 kills as well. It's a pretty low farm game. Alright, so what did I build? I built this item here, which gives me health. Health's going to do AoE damage, which helps me clear the jungle. And it's going to build into this guy, which again gives me health, gives me bonus health. So health on top of health for days. And I'm going to just again try to build in such a way that I'm going to take a long time to die. I don't have to kill anybody, I just have to not get killed. This Lee is not doing a good job. I'm going to come in here. See if I can use my crowd control. I don't have my ult, but I do have my little dash thing. So let's see if I can do this. Nope. Okay. So, tank. Basically, die slowly. Then you have carries, like specifically AD carries are kind of a good example of this, in that they want to inflict as much damage as they can, as quickly as they can, and not die. That is unfortunate. Ult up again. Come on guys, go, go, go. So I wasn't narrating a whole lot there, I gotta get in the habit again. So again, Morgana was able, their support was able to crowd control our Thresh, kill him. We then kind of swooped in. I was able to have my ult up at just the right time, again to kind of immobilize the enemy team, keep them from attacking just long enough to get some damage done. We were able to kill the cannon, which is good. We were not able to, I don't think we were able to kill the bug Kazakhs. So that's unfortunate. We'll have to stomp him out sometime later. But again, that was kind of, you kind of see my role in that. I go in, try to soak up as much damage as I can, crowd control them as much as I can, and let my team do the damage. It has varying degrees of success. So, that's a tank. AD carries, again, will not build much in the way of health, if anything. They're going to build for auto attack damage. So every time they do their auto attack, mine is this little headbutt here. Whoop-pop. Whoop-pop. So if I were to build auto attacks, I would do more damage consistently. However, I take more damage, and I don't want to do that. My champion's not built for that. Their champions are built to... Ooh, get him one more time. Nice. To do a lot of damage. Squishy. They will die quickly, but they'll also do damage quickly. And that trade-off is, if you can pull it off, is worth it. So I know that they're down there, or at least some of them are down there. Oop. This guy's up here. See if I can get him. I don't think we can kill him. Let's try. Ah! Nice. That was ugly, but we did it. So again, my kind of role in these fights is to get in, soak damage, and let Lee and Echo and all of them do damage. So, happened to work there. That was pretty ugly. I could have played that better. I think everyone could have played that better. But it kind of shows what I'm trying to do. Get in, die slowly, and lock up the other team. So, worked out pretty well. So, they are pretty well mixed damage, unfortunately. That is not a good thing to see. So I'm going to go that and try to keep farming up. So AD carries do a lot of damage, be very squishy, die very quickly. Echo in this role is going to be much the same. He's not going to build a whole lot of tank, besides maybe Azanya's. Holy tomes. Cannon's going to be much the same way. He's going to build 1, maybe 2 tank items, not more than that. And the idea being that you can kind of set up team comp. Oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Nope. Set up a team comp where you kind of play to and cover each other's strengths and weaknesses. In other words, if I'm I picked jungle and I picked tanky, so my team realized, okay, well we have one tank, we don't really need to go overload on that. So they decided to build kind of balanced team comp around it. Ah, bad flay, bad flay. For instance, if you have a tanky jungler and a tanky top, you don't need to do much in the way of beefy other units, other champions. If you have a very squishy jungler and a very squishy top, then you want to think, okay, well we only have a couple more slots left. We have to think about how will we kind of maximize the remaining slots we have left. For instance, if your team is all tanky, they're going to die really slowly, but they're not going to do a whole lot of damage. And if you die really slowly and do 0 damage, then you're just going to die for nothing. It can be done where you pick a all squishy team, so you have very high damage and not a whole lot of health. That can work. It's very risky because you have to be very precise and careful with how you take fights and when you take fights. It can be done, but again, most times you want to build a team comp that is balanced. Some damage, some tank, some support, some utility, and so forth. I don't think, yeah, he's got it. I don't think I can defend it anyway. So I'm farming up. I'm continuing to build health and resistances. So I've got this, which is health. This, which is going to give you resistances and movement speed. Going to build up as much tankiness as I can. So we have 80 carries, which are these guys. Caitlyn. You have tank, me, and kind of Yorick. You have the mid laners, who are kind of a middle ground between 80 carries, which are almost always glass cannon, and so I can couple behind these guys. Oop, that's a yeah. Middle lane people will tend to emphasize damage. Ooh, nice. Get him! Nice, nice, nice. Very nice, very nice. So again, I walked out of bush and lost line of sight, so that was a bit sloppy. But again, my role is not to kind of do damage and to kill everybody. It's to let my team kill everybody. Stop them, the enemy team, from killing my team. Again, by kind of soaking things up. Let's see if I can get a tower dive here. Too risky. Now supports can be a couple different roles. Generally, they're going to be on the skinny side, squishy side, and they're going to want to do crowd control for our team and also help our team do things. So for instance, this guy here, Thresh, he doesn't tank up a whole lot of damage. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But what he does do is help his team do things. Whew. So that's what we call utility, is kind of helping your team do things. So if, for instance, Thresh, one of his abilities that we talked about is Lantern, where they throws out a lantern. If they click it, they get dragged to him. That helps your team be mobile. Someone like Sona has a damage buff, temporary damage buff, where she throws it out, helps her team do damage. So that, again, is utility. So yeah, kind of tank supports, there's damage supports like Brand and Annie, and to some degree, like something like a Vel'Koz. I tend to favor kind of tanky CC champions that take a long time to die. They can do a lot of crowd control, that sort of thing. So they're all congregating top. They're all dying top. So we're going to try to do dragon. We just saw a bunch of them top. I think it's too late. So we really need case damage. But let's see if we can sneak this. Got smite for 680. It doesn't look like they're going to fight it. There you go. Cool. Alright, so I have ult. I don't have a whole lot of mana, which is a bad thing. I cannot crowd control if I don't have mana. I'm not Nautilus or Braum. So, I have tanks, 80 carries, kind of bruiser-ish people, and we have supports, kind of help their team. We don't really have any assassins in this game. Assassins kind of emphasize the attempt to build a lot of damage, do a lot of damage very quickly. We don't really have any in this game. I'm just going to sell this. My warding and my build path is not the cleanest in this game. That'll be the first to admit. And this is not a good thing. Let's see if I can go help them. See if I can soak up some damage. Speaking of crowd control, that was probably overkill, but I'll take it. 2 deaths for 2 deaths. We also lost the turret. Oh, okay. So again, Kha'Zix wants to do damage very quickly. He was able to in that scenario, so that's good. Nice. Yeah, I'll take that. 2 more kills, 1 more death. I'll take that. Again, my role, not to play the best, but my role is to go in, soak up damage, die slowly, and let my team do damage around me. That more or less happened there. Again, certainly not the cleanest. I haven't really been tryharding a whole lot, just trying to get used to playing Amumu in the jungle. So an assassin would be someone like Kha'Zix, someone like Zed, someone like LeBlanc, whose kind of sole purpose is to dive in, do a crap ton of damage, and then kind of sort things out after that. Very little health, very little utility for the team, but an awful lot of damage. And again, in a kind of totally balanced world, every champion would be some damage, some tank, some utility, but that would get pretty boring pretty quickly. So instead, what you have to do is find some champions where it's, okay, I do a lot of damage but no tank, and some have a lot of tank but no damage, some have a lot of utility but no damage, and you really have to there we go. Almost have ults. So you want to find a way to kind of balance the team comms out. I don't think you should do this, bro. Yeah, they're split pushing. I don't think we really have an answer for that. Nice. So York, he's not building full damage. He's not building full tank. He's going for a bit of both. but he has enough of both to pose a threat. And so that's the idea of kind of bruisering, is that you don't focus on any one thing. You kind of do enough of one and enough of another to be useful for your team. I can't do that. So I'm going to go towards our endurance. So let's take a quick stock of the game. So we're up on kills. Nice little kill there. Our Echo and Kate are both very strong. Kate is very, very strong. So what I'm going to try to do is hang around her, keep her alive as much as I can, and again, kind of do my role. Let her do damage, let me soak up damage. Together, we'll do this right. So again, she's built completely damage, as to be expected. Come on, guys. And so she's not going to worry at all about tanking up or dying slowly. She's just going to worry about outputting damage. So that is her role. That's what she's doing. Thresh is going a little bit tanky, but again, he's mostly focused on helping Kate do her job. So he's not going to go all out on damage. He's not going to build any damage, to be quite frank. He's not going to go all out on health or utility. He's going to try to do a bit of both, which is fine. He exists to do some good crowd control and to help out his team. And he's going to let me soak up. I'm going to go pure tank and try to balance things out. So we talked a bit about lane assignments in the last couple of videos. We talked a little bit about warding. Talked a little bit about team compositions. What I might do is just dedicate a whole video to talking about team comps without any sort of gameplay. So what I'm going to try to do, oops, I think we're all going to die. Just kidding, we're not all going to die. That was ugly. I don't know why Morgana's the one still pushing, but I'll take it. So in that fight, Morg just wasn't there, and Kennen was able to get his damage onto our squishies before we could react. So he was kind of doing his job. Thresh did his best to get Caitlyn down. She almost got away, but in the end she did go down. Uh-oh. So again, kind of I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, you know, how would team comps work? How do they work together? How do we win? So one of the reasons that you build a balanced team comp is that you're able to kind of react to different situations. For instance, if you build all tanks and they all die super slow and you don't actually do any damage, then it's going to take you a long time to win. You don't always have a long time to win. If you build super squishy and you all do a crap ton of damage and all that stuff, but if you all get sneezed at, you burst into flames, then again, it's a risky proposition. So the idea is you want to build, kind of maximize your chances at winning by allowing your team comp to do different things. So we have a tank, we have an AD carry, we have a Lee Sin sort of thing. Yep, don't want to go here. Okay, maybe we do want to go here. I can't help you, dude, I'm sorry. So this is kind of a battle. Can Caitlyn do enough damage to outlast his tankiness? The answer apparently was yes. But the idea is that he can be tanky enough to get enough damage down. So he can kind of adjust the tank scale up, and the damage scale doesn't have to go quite as extreme because he is able to last long. In other words, a low amount of damage over a long period of time is a decent amount of damage. Can I get him? Nope. If you have a very high amount of damage and you die very quickly, then you basically did less than you could have. If you have a very low amount of damage and last a long amount of time, then theoretically you can kind of make that work. Again, it's all theory crafting. But one of the cool things about League of Legends, and one thing that's so fun, is that there's so many different varieties of champions that you can kind of pick. All right, do I want to do super high damage bursty? Do I want to do super low damage tanky AoE team? Do I want to do some hybrid of both? Do I want to do a lot of crowd control? Do I want to do a lot of split pushing? Do I want to do high damage, low damage? What's the poison? This guy needs to be careful. Stupid box. Why can't I kill the box? So Kha'Zix, again, is kind of lurking. He's not going to take up a lot of damage, but he's going to do a lot of damage. So we need to be very careful. We need to make sure. Yeah, I think you can kill him. Got him. So again, oh, that was bold. What Kennen tried to do is dive back toward the Caitlyn. Caitlyn was able to get out and stay alive, so she was able to kind of survive long enough to do... Don't go back in, dude. I'm just kidding, you're a genius. Very nice. I apparently do not know enough about Echo. So I'm going to continue to build tanky, because I want to maximize my chance of doing the things. But you saw, so Kennen wants to go and apply damage to Caitlyn. Caitlyn wants to apply damage as much as she can. In order to do that, she needs to survive. In order to survive, she needs to avoid the enemy crowd control. So this guy is not going to die quickly. And his job is, as a split pusher, is to kind of push the waves against us. There, just wasted his ult. I need to back up though. They are close. So, York is ulted. I've taken the red. I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do here besides clearing out stuff. Not even close. Yeah, that's right. Be a stupid bug. It's going to take at least 2 of us to kill York, so I'm not even going to go down there. So again, the idea behind our team comp is I go in, catch all of them, freeze them up, make sure they can't move, and then that allows my team to kind of go in behind me and apply their damage. So I need to negate and soak up enemies' damage and allowing my team's damage. They're doing things. It's going in. I don't think I have ult. See if I can catch one of them. 9 flashes later. He's going hard in the paint over there. So this game is dragging on a bit. Not sure what we can do here. Let's see if I can alt. So I was able to... Ah, that was a bad flash, bad flash. Again, what I tried to do was soak up enough damage so that Lee and Caitlyn could show up, and it turned out to work, which is good. So Caitlyn was able to show up and do damage unopposed, which is perfect, because if she takes any damage, she just kind of evaporates. So I'm going to continue to build tanky. Echo's going to continue to build damage. He's got 1 tank item, 1.5. Lee, a little bit of tank. Caitlyn is going to continue to build the damages. So here, Yorick is tanky enough where his relatively low damage kind of adds up over time. And Echo is kind of banking on the fact that he can avoid damage long enough to get Caitlyn in. Nice. Caitlyn is very strong. She's pretty much the only one that can kill Yorick. The rest of us just don't know the damage. So I'm going to let her lifesteal up. She does have... Oh, no, I misread it. She might be getting a GA. So, again, she's continuing to build damage, which is good, because we need her to be that kind of late-game hyper carry. We need her to be able to do all the damages late game. It's about the mid-ish game now. We got... Well, it's pretty late, actually. It's a bunch of completed items. That was a bit reckless on his. He almost got Caitlyn, so I can't really say that was bad. But that lets us split push again, or still. So we're gonna try to kill towers. As we talked about in the first couple of videos, kill towers give you gold, golds give you items, items let you kill towers, and the cycle of life and death continues, as Nasus would say. So I have a pretty good chunk of stats at this point. I will not die very quickly. So what I can probably do is use my last item slot to just do something fun. I still want to be tanky, I still want to be crowd control-y, but what I don't want to do is that's a thing. So let me get more mugs. Help me sustain. I'm going to sell this because I don't really need it or use it. I'm going to get some more MR. I need some more magic resist. Or I'm going to do it. I talked myself into it. So I have almost 5,000 health. So whatever happens, I will not die quickly. So I am going to use my last item slot to build a fun one to get some more damage, to allow myself to help round out the Nice. That was a bit of a confusing fight, but basically Caitlyn was able to stay alive long enough to continue doing her damage. And their team was a bit split up. Actually, both teams are a bit split up, to be honest. And that allowed our Caitlyn to, with her 16 kills, to do some righteous work, do the Lord's work. So again, the idea of a team comp is you want to build a collection of champions that works well together. So you need damage. You more often than not will be able to use some tankiness. And sorry, I keep trailing off into thought here. And you want to build a team that can win you the game. How do you win the game? Well, you kill towers. How do you kill towers? Well, you build damage. So the idea is you need some damage, you need some crowd control to allow your damage to kind of stay alive, damage dealers rather, and some utility to help up all the things. This is a bit risky. I don't think we should be here. Yeah, we're too deep, too close to their damage. Get away! This is a bad idea. Our damage is not there. Now our damage is arriving Caitlyn. So I'm going to try to hang around Caitlyn and see if I can keep her alive. Yeah, that was a bad fight. Caitlyn was able to stay alive, but she was forced so far out of the fight that she was not able to do damage where she wanted to. So, build that, keep building. Again, Rourke is going to be just tanky enough to keep doing damage. Where'd Caitlyn go? No, Caitlyn's there. I took. Oops. I'm going to go top. So we need to keep Caitlyn alive. We need to push the waves. We're not doing a very good job of that. In fact, we're doing a poor job of that. So we need to 50 to 200 health, no big deal. So they're going for this. This takes a long time to kill. So one way or the other, this fight's going to last a while. Almost. But again, bot's pushing for us now, which is good. Okay. Okay. Again. I think. Yeah, maybe not. Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, I think I can kind of tank this long enough to get things done. Nice, nice, nice. Good, good, good. Starting to come together. So again, we just need Caitlyn to stay alive. As long as she's alive, we can do our thing. So again, the super minions are doing work, so that helps us quite a bit. So the idea is maybe we can win. It's such an ugly game. Again, please do not take these games as a kind of gospel of efficiency. But talk about nice, we actually won. So I'm going to spend some time on the screen to talk about this. So we had an Amumu whose job it is to do a lot of damage. I'm sorry, to take a lot of damage. Doesn't have to do a lot of damage, but he has to take it. We have a Caitlyn who is going to do a lot of damage. And we have a couple other champions kind of in the middling ground. I don't know why it's not showing the end here. Anyway, so that was a brief kind of meandering path through team comps and how they work. There'll be more on that coming. So like and subscribe if you like what's going on, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.